Hi, folks. It's Gary here, and very warm welcome to the fourth official here on YouTube on a big day for Rangers as they have announced their latest new signing. Joe Rothwell signing for the club on a 3-year deal. From Bournemouth in the English Premiership for an undisclosed fee. Now, the news broke yesterday with regards to Rangers' interest in the 30-year-old midfielder, and today he was up at Ibrox for his medical, and the deal was confirmed at 5 o'clock this evening on the Rangers website. Joe Rothwell stating that he is delighted to have the deal done and to be at Rangers. The size of the club speaks for itself, and as soon as the interest was there, it was an immediate yes. With Russell coming in, that made that decision that little bit easier, because working with him in the past, I know what type of guy he is and how he wants to do things. That was an even bigger pull for me, but the club speaks for itself. So I think that impact of Russell Martin obviously being the Rangers manager, part of the reason why Joe Rothwell has found himself up at Ibrox. But he's a player who has been on Rangers' radar for a number of years now, someone who Michael Beale was accredited with an interest in just a couple of years ago after what had been a very successful season for him at Blackburn Rovers before he ended up at Bournemouth. And he was an influential player for Leeds United last season as well. And as we pointed out on the Fourth Official's Patreon channel and the podcast between myself and Scott Young that dropped last night, no surprise, I think, that Rangers are linked with players that have got these ties with the 49ers group. Max Aarons, first of all, who joined last week, also from Bournemouth, but just on a season-long loan, and Joe Rothwell as well, because these are players that I believe would have been on a list of targets for Leeds United had they remained in the Championship for the season ahead. Now they've obviously got to the Premiership, and they're players that are now available and have came up to Rangers, and both Rothwell and Max Aarons, I think, immediately make Rangers starting 11 that much stronger. Particularly at right back, Aaron's young, athletic, a player who wants to get up and down the park, and Joe Rothwell, a player who knows Russell Martin's style inside out, can be box to box, has got strong ability from set plays, but can also put a tackle in. He's good on the ball, and someone that, again, adds to that sort of kind of core group of experienced players. And I think when you look at the likes of the rest of Rangers' options in the centre of midfield, having lost the likes of Tom Lawrence and Yanis Hadji during the window, they probably needed someone with a bit more guile, a bit more kind of experience to help alongside younger players such as Connor Barron. Obviously, we've got Nico Rashkin and Mo Diamandi in there as well, but kind of young players the likes of Bailey Rice and Connor Barron, who I think can learn an awful lot from someone like Joe Rothwell. And that's something that Russell Martin mentions in the announcement of Joe Rothwell today, that obviously was a player that he worked with at Southampton, but he saw his leadership, his professionalism, and his quality as being a huge asset, coming to us on the back of 2 promotions, so bringing a real winning mentality to the group. And I think that's something that Russell Martin certainly wants players that have got that experience of winning games, because he will know probably more than anyone in terms of that pressure of what it's like to be at Rangers, to win week in, week out. And certainly Joe Rothwell will be coming in to add to our options in the middle of the park. As I say, it was an area that we were a little bit light in, and with rumours still continuing to surround the likes of Mohamed Diamandi and Nico Rashkin in terms of potential moves out the way. A good bit of business, I think, for Rangers to bring in Rothwell on what's reported to be a 3 years deal. And elsewhere, more rumours flying around, this time with some defensive targets, and apparently, according to Joshua Barry on the Rangers Review, that Rangers are working on a deal for Peterborough defender Emmanuel Fernandez, a 23-year-old centre-back who has been with Peterborough since 2021, but only really broke through to their first team last year. But he's deemed as being a player who has got a bit to grow. He's 6'4", so certainly got a bit of presence about there, and scored 5 goals for Peterborough last season. A player who previously been linked with Norwich City, but is someone that certainly Rangers are looking potentially at bringing in. Another option for defence, a name that's been linked today, is the Wolves defender Nassar Giga, a Burkina Faso international. He's 22 years of age. Similar stature to Fernandez in terms of being a kind of tall, kind of 6'4" defender with an awful lot of presence. But now Giga signed for Wolves during the January transfer window from Red Star Belgrade for around about 10 million. Hasn't played an awful lot for Wolves since that move, and it's believed Wolves are considering loaning him out to get more kind of first team football, maybe more acclimatised to British conditions. There is other interest in Giga, a player who I think would just be a loan at this stage, but I think Fernandez is a permanent deal. And I think given Rangers' well noted interest in Connor Cody as well, then that potentially could be 3 brand new centre backs potentially coming in. And when you look at the likes of Robin Prepare and Ben Davies potentially moving out the way, Liam Balogun obviously having left already, it is an area of the park that certainly Rangers need to strengthen. And with obviously John Souttar only having 1 year left on his deal as well and currently injured, defensive reinforcements, particularly with Panathinaikos on the horizon, very much of note. Rangers have also been linked with a left back from Chelsea. Again, it's another loan option. But whether or not that happens, I think it really depends on the situation regarding Ridvan Yilmaz. So certainly, over the course of the next few days, we can expect to see a lot more in terms of ins and outs for the club, as we reported on our podcast on Patreon last night. Hamza Yaman believed to be in talks with Lille, a deal in the region of around 15 to 20 million rumoured for Hamza Yaman, and that may well free up the opportunity to bring in the Israeli striker Dor Turgeman. So lot to happen, I think, over the coming days, and we'll certainly keep you up to date with everything here on the Fourth Official, both here on YouTube and also over on our Patreon channel. And you can join us on Patreon. It's patreon.com/the Fourth Official. You'll get all of our coverage. That's podcasts, match reaction, opinion, interviews, long form columns, and you can join for less than £3 per month. It's your place to join us and get all of our content, not just from a Rangers perspective, but all across Scottish football. And starting next week, we'll have the start of our brand new season preview pods, both here on YouTube and also over on Patreon. So looking forward to bringing them for you. That's all for now. Big thank you for watching this Blue Nose Bulletin. We'll speak to you next time. Goodbye.